What's up guys, Stefan Ciencio here, the action-taking blogger, and in this video we're going to be talking about how to use Tailwind and get traffic in the process. Alright, let's get right into it. Okay, so you may or may not have heard of Tailwind, but basically Tailwind is an app that basically lets you go in and actually improve your marketing on two platforms in specific, Pinterest and Instagram. Currently, I'm only using it with Pinterest, so that's the one that I'm going to be focusing on for this video. But Tailwind is such a powerful software, and what's really cool about Tailwind is it actually has partner status with both Pinterest as well as Instagram. So you can rest assured knowing this is an approved platform that you're using for your marketing. And you can see on their page, on their homepage here, it says discover content, schedule posts, monitor conversations, amplify reach, analyze results, all in one tool. So what's really cool about this is that it automates a lot of tasks that would otherwise take you a lot of time to do manually, and it also has a lot of features that help you generate a lot more discovery to your website, your blog, your brand, and generate a lot more traffic in the process. So I'm going to be taking you inside Tailwind and showing you how that you can start using Tailwind to start doing all of these things. So let's go into Tailwind here. Awesome. Okay, so inside Tailwind, we can see that this is I have my dog site connected. So if you don't know, I have a dog site, Dog Desires. Now, before I go any further, I do recommend that you check out some of my other videos if you like this one and you find this helpful. I recommend that you subscribe if you're interested in getting more awesome videos on this channel. I have been doing internet marketing for years now. I was a former engineer, and now I'm a full-time online marketer, and this is my way of kind of putting out awesome content that really helps others take action and share in my drive for taking action to get the results that you want online. So go ahead and subscribe if you like this video if you like it so far, and I would really appreciate it, and it would help you keep on top of all awesome content that's coming in the future. So inside here you can see in Tailwind, the first thing that you want to do is go to your profile when you create an account. So before I do this, actually, let me log out and walk you through, like, if you don't actually have a Tailwind account yet. So if you don't have a Tailwind account yet, you can actually start with a free trial. So all you have to do is go through here, go to get started with Tailwind, and whether you're signing up with Pinterest or Instagram. Now keep in mind that if you have both, it's okay, just start with one and it will let you add the other. So once you do that and you go through this process, for example, if I go through Pinterest, it'll connect through my Pinterest, and then from there it'll take me and log me in, and I could put in more information from there. So now I'm actually going to log back in and go back to my main account. So now I'm actually at the login page. So this is what it's going to look like after you have created your account. I'm just going to go ahead and log in. Oops, looks like I put the wrong password, so sorry. Okay, cool. So now I'm in, and basically you can see that this is the first thing that I see when I log in. It says profile performance. So here it's going to show me how many followers I have and how many I got in the last 7 days. It's going to show me how many pins I have and how many pins I've done in the last 7 days. It's going to show me how many repins I've had and how many I've gotten in the last 7 days. It's going to show me how many comments I have, and it looks like I got 1 comment in the last 7 days. This is on my dog related Pinterest account for my dog related site, which is a blog about dogs, or being a dog owner and stuff like that. So you can see my engagement rate says it's 15.6%, which is okay. Engagement score is a little low, and virality score is 0.8, meaning it's they measure it as total repins plus total pins. So that's, I'm sorry, divided by total pins. So basically for every 8 pins that I put up, for every 1,000 pins I put up, 8 of them get repinned. So it's not great. Again, this is that's something that could be talked about in another one of my videos, but for now this is just about showing you how to use the tool. So that's the metrics that it reports for you. It also gives you something called board insights. So if you've used Pinterest before, you should know that there are things called boards, and you can actually see all the stats related to your boards of how many pins are in them. So this one has 51 pins, how many followers follow the board, how many repins you've gotten from there, and then what the virality is. So this one actually has huge virality. Now the reason for this is actually because I do a lot of repinning from this actual thing myself, so that stat might be a little skewed. So you might want to look at other areas. So what I'm actually going to do is open up a notepad to take you through the different ways that you can use Tailwind to really boost your results. Alright, so let's get to it. So the first thing is scheduling content, right? So you can actually schedule content ahead of time so you don't have to manually post on Pinterest all the time. Number 2 is analyzing which boards bring the highest virality, and this is especially useful for something called group board. So if you don't know what a group board is, I'll explain it to you. And then number 3 is this new thing called Tailwind Tribes, and it's really, really cool. And I'll show you how you can use Tailwind Tribes to really boost your traffic and grow your following site profile awareness. Cool. Alright, so we're talking about scheduling content first. So basically you can go into here, this is your sidebar over here, and you can see which accounts you have connected, and you can add new accounts all from the top left if you want to do that. You have your weekly summary, which I believe is the first page that we saw when we came in, but let's wait for it to load. Okay, so weekly summary is similar to the other page we saw when we logged in, but it's telling me how many repins I got, how many domain pins I got, how many followers I got. So basically outside weekly summary, we can go to publisher, and that's going to be the one that we are focusing on the most. So it looks like they do have a feature called Smart Loop coming out soon, which I actually believe is going to be a way to automate all of your pins to keep looping and posting. But until that comes out, they do have scheduled pins. So scheduled pins is a way that you can come in, and then in one sitting you can schedule out all of your pins that you want to post for an undisclosed amount of time. So you could literally sit here and schedule all of your pins to happen all the way into the future, which is really, really cool. So what you could do here is you could also do fill in time slots, which says fill in any gaps you may have in your schedule by shifting all of your unlocked posts up to the next available time slot. So that's fine. Basically what you want to do if you want to actually schedule your pins is go to and you have your schedule down here, so we can go here and see what that looks like. So basically this is the weekly pinning schedule, and you could see it's telling you when it thinks that you should pin each day. So right here, this is 2/17. So if you tell it to pin during this time, it will pin during this time, which is really cool. So let me actually at this point go back to see insights. So what I like to do to actually find the best pins to pin is I go to insights, and we'll be covering this a little later, but for actual scheduling I go to pin inspector. And again, this is after you've connected your Pinterest account. You have to wait for it to populate a little while, but I go to pin inspector, and let's give that a second to load. So these are some of my pins. So what's cool about pin inspector is it actually, it's telling me it wants me to go through this thing here, which I don't want to go through, but I'll go through it real quick anyway. And it keeps popping it up for me, which is annoying because I've already gone through it, but we'll go through this, together. So let me just finish this. Okay, alright, got it. Cool. So for now, these are all of my pins, and it's telling me how many repins I've recently gotten, which is really cool. And you can see over here, there's two things that are really, really cool. There's schedule a repin and add to tribes. So we're going to use schedule a repin because that's going to be what we're doing with scheduling our pins. So we know that these are pretty good posts, and we could actually filter them by more things. So what I'm going to do is just leave it as is. This one got 8 repins, so that's pretty cool. Let's schedule a repin. So what's going to happen now is I can actually go in and schedule the repin, and I could choose where I want to repin it to, which is really, really cool. So maybe I want to repin it to one of my group boards, and we'll talk about group boards a little more. Maybe I want to repin it into Doggy Desires Jewelry. and I could choose what time I want to schedule it, so I could do it from right here. So maybe I want to schedule it at this time, so I could just do that and click schedule. So now I scheduled that pin, and if we go to my scheduling, like Board Insights, oh, I'm sorry, no, we got to go back to Publisher and then Scheduled Pins. And you can see that it actually has the pin now scheduled underneath here. Where is it? Scheduled. It's weird. So I think, oh, because it just posted it. So I scheduled it to be posted right now, and it just published. So let's go to Published, and I think we should probably see it. Actually, I don't see it, so I'm not sure what happened there. But basically, that's how you do it. You go to Insights and you go to Pin Inspector, and that is one way that you can go in and actually publish your pins, is just by seeing what your pins are, which ones are doing well. Schedule a repin. You know, like I could schedule it for the 18th at 10 o'clock, 10:19 p.m. and I could schedule it. Okay, so now that should be scheduled. If I go back to Publisher. Okay, so now here it is, 10:19 p.m. So the cool thing is you could actually select a different board to pin it to, and we were talking about group boards, so you may or may not know what a group board is, but a group board is one that multiple people can contribute to. So if you really want to boost your traffic, what you can do is actually post into group boards and schedule out posts into group boards. So I could post this into a group board called Cute Dogs, right? So that's a group board. Now I could click Save Changes, and now it's going to post into a group board, which is awesome. Actually, I don't think that's a group board. Let's do dog breeds. Yeah, dog breeds. So save it. So now it's going to post into the group board because of the little people, which means I'm going to get exposure. And that's one way that you can now have automated schedulings into group boards over time and not have to do continuous work posting. And over time, all of your pins in group boards are going to start getting exposure from all the people in those group boards, which is going to drive traffic back to your Pinterest account and then drive traffic back to a website if you have it linked on your pin, on your profile, etc. So Tailwind is really, really powerful for that, for scheduling that out. Now, obviously, they give you a lot of these insights here, so we can go to your profile performance, and if that's something you want to work on improving, we've seen this page before. That's the first page when we log in. Pin Inspector we looked at. Website Insights, so that's another really cool one that you can use, just kind of giving you different insights. So daily average pins, daily average pinners. You know, and you can upgrade. They have different levels. So you can upgrade to enterprise to get more data, but for now I just use the basic. It's perfectly fine. I could see my organic activity, like latest pins, so we could see here all the different pins that happen, which is really, really cool. So that's really powerful. Now another thing obviously is Tailwind Tribe, so we talked about that. It looks like they added this pin from Instagram feature, so that's really cool. You can actually now pin stuff directly from Instagram once that's done. So board lists is another thing, so you could save groups of boards into custom lists, so you can schedule your most commonly used boards in one click. So if you want to actually schedule to a whole list of boards, and so before you saw that we posted into one board, using board lists you can actually make a list of different boards and it'll post into all of those boards for you. So we covered the scheduling content, which is really cool, and we covered now I have to cover analyzing which boards you actually want to post into to get most virality. So let's go back to the board insights. Okay, so what's cool about this feature in Tailwind with group boards is that you can actually see which group boards bring you the most traffic, because when you post into a group board, if the group board doesn't have a lot of engagement, that means not a lot of people are going to see it and not a lot of people are going to repost it so that their friends see it. So we want to find group boards that have a higher engagement score, which means the people in that group board are actually around and active and actually like to repost stuff to their friends. So if we look here, we can actually see which boards have the best ones. Now remember that these little people here indicate a group board, or as they call it, a collaborative board. So tips for dog owners. If I wanted to post into here, I can schedule a post from Tailwind into tips for dog owners, and I see that it has a very good engagement score of 26.74, which is considered a good score, because you have lots of other boards with scores like very low. So you can see this one, I Love Huskies, only has 0.17 virality and 0.03 engagement. So if we go back up, we could see that these boards here with especially over 5 virality, 7, 5, 25, and like higher engagement scores, these are the boards that we want to be posting in, and it's thanks to Tailwind that we have this data. So I know that I'd rather post into cute dogs, which has actually fairly low, 0.23, but so it has a low virality score but a higher engagement score, so it's still pretty good overall. But especially for virality, like this one is great, this one is great, this one is great, this one is phenomenal. I'd rather post into dog tips, right? I'd rather post into there and not post into these. Now, what's interesting about Pinterest now is I found out that engagement matters a lot more. So if you are posting into these group boards that don't have as good of engagement, that means that it's going to tell Pinterest that that's not a pin that people are finding very interesting, and it might limit your reach in terms of the Pinterest search. So getting this data to find which group boards actually bring more viral traffic and more engagement to your pins is very, very important. So now not only do we know where we want to put our pins based on the data that Tailwind gives us, but we also know where we want to, we also can schedule those pins so we don't have to continuously doing work. So that's really cool. We just covered analyzing which boards bring the highest virality. And now the last way that you can use Tailwind to get a ton of traffic and do less work is Tailwind Tribes. So Tailwind Tribes is fairly new. It really boosts your traffic and helps grow your brand's following and awareness. So let's go to Tribes. So in a nutshell, a tribe is basically a bunch of people that are in a certain niche that all share each other's content, and it's done in a very high quality way. So you can actually see that I'm in some tribes here. I'm in this tribe called Dogs Paws Cat Claws, and you can see that I have basically, there's 1,140 new pins that have been submitted into this tribe. So what that means, when someone submits a pin into the tribe, they are submitting their pins for other people to then have the ability and go and repin to their profile. So I've personally submitted 5 pins to these tribes right here. And in doing so, that means that other people can now take my pins and share them to their own thing. So you can see that I've submitted 5 and I've shared 1 other person. So it's a give and take. You're adding pins that will be shared by others, and you're sharing pins from others as well. So in this particular case, I've shared 5 into the general pool, the general tribe, and I've shared 1 of someone else's into my profile. So generally you want to try to keep it 1 for 1 if you're trying to be a good person. I have to go in here and share 4 more to catch up. So that's once you're in a tribe, which is really, really cool, because again, this is just free traffic. It's people that are waiting to basically see your pins and then pin them for you to get you more visibility. So I highly recommend you use tribes. If we go to find a tribe, you can actually see here that there are tribes in many, many different niches. So let's just wait for it to load a second. So if we come in here, we can see that there's so many different tribes. So there's tribes in lifestyle, food and drink, education, marketing, family, and there's more down here. So even e-commerce is a tribe. So if you sell e-com products, you can even find tribes to get more traffic to your e-com stores. So that's really cool. Now some of them are open and you can just join, and you can see the activity level. So that's pretty good activity, and this one's open. So I could join this one if I have an Etsy store, and I could drive traffic to that Etsy store from posting into this tribe. So that's really, really cool. So in a nutshell, we just covered 3 ways that you can really use Tailwind to really boost your traffic and get more time back in your day by utilizing their automation tools like the scheduling tool and using their analysis tools to stop wasting time with boards that aren't bringing you any engagement or traffic. So if you found this helpful and actionable, please subscribe to the Action Taking Blogger channel. I hope you enjoyed the video. I hope you got a ton of value either way. And that's it for now, and I will hopefully see you next time around.